similar to classification model, right? Like, so what you have is x1, x2, x3, and y as a target variable, and these have some values like 10, 20, 30, and class 0, and similarly 0, 1, 2, and class 0, and class 1, something like this, right? So, so something like this, like this, let us assume that this is the data what we have. So this data, these are like class 0 and few are class 1. And earlier, like what we have done in logistic regression is like try to identify a relation between x1, x2, x3 to y. And with that, like we are able to classify between two variables, like some points in somewhere, and we try to get a decision boundary like based on, it's indirectly a regression kind of approach, right? What we have taken, because why is we try to get a kind of a relation like this, right? And then what we did is like we try to fit it into a nonlinearity function. So where we had something like this theta x, let's call it theta x. So 1 plus e power minus theta x. And then with this, like we try to optimize it, right? So, but decision tree classifier, like decision tree approach is completely different approach. So in this tree-based approach, what we do is we initially take like tree, the tree, right? Like we initially have one node, and if this node satisfied, this is like yes or no, okay? And then you again have some more nodes here, and then finally you get some value. Like this is how like tree representation in like ML. So for this case, like let's take like simple scenario, not like numerical. Like numerical will be a little tougher to explain, but to make it understand better, let me take like categorical values for better understanding. Okay, so let me take x1, x2, x3, and y as an output, where x1, x2 are 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, and these are your class. Now, like you have to give your class, which is about, okay, let me call it like class 1, class 2. Just not to be confused with this. Class 1, class 2, class 2. Okay. So let's assume like this is our data, and for this data, let's try to build a classifier, like how actually decision tree classifier works. Let's do it and let do it and understand how this decision tree classifier works. Okay. So this is class 2. So what we'll do is like initially maybe take like x1 as an parent node, and see like when x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. These are the two possibilities here, right? So even in numerical, it's the same thing. What we do is like we take a limit, but for easier understanding, let's talk it with x1 or just 0 1 binary here. So when x1 equal to 0, how many class 1s are there? How many class 0s are there? So this is very good example to classify. So just what I'll do is, okay, let's talk about this cycle. So if x1 equal to 0 first, okay. So what are the classes that were there inside? So it contains only class 1, right? So it can be class 1 only. So when x1 equal to 1, so it contains these examples, what like both of them are class 2, right? So this is like actually we are able to classify within one variable. So for this particular data, what I have given, so it just needs like x1 as an variable. With x1, it is able to classify between like class 0, like between two classes, class 1 and class 2. Okay, so this was pretty simple. Like it did not need this x2 x3 for this case. Let me use second example where maybe I can get some complications here and then able to explain. So 1010, and let me write this first. Okay, so 00 class 1. So 101100. Okay, I hope I have class 1, class 2, class 2. Let me also add few more here. Okay, what else can I add? Like, okay, 110. I did not add this. This let us say class 2. Okay, just to create some kind of imbalance here. So, okay, this is my data. Let's see what we can do from this. So initially, what we try to do is maybe have x1 here. So with x1 as a first node, like we call it like tree node, root node, right? So here with this parent node, what we try to do is, so when x1 equal to 1 and x1 equal to 0, we try to like have these data here. So when x1 equal to 1 is this and these points, right? It have 1, 2, and 3. These are the three data points here, right? So which belongs to uh, like x1 equal to 1. So it contains one class 1 and two class 2, right? This is a data set. Now, if you keep a row numbers here, okay? So 4 and 5. So 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5 were segregated this side, and uh, the rest like 3 and 2 and 4 are segregated on the other side, right? When x1 equal to 0, second and fourth row were there here. So what we do is like while again treat it as your data. Okay, so this is your data when 135, right? Let me write 135 data here. 3 class 2. So and 110 class 2. So this is your data where you have all. Now x1 is done. We can keep it, but as of now, like let's think that x1 is done, x1, x2, x3, and class 0 class. So next, like now as like x1 is done, let's look about something else. Second part. So now let's talk see x2. So x2 again, now based on x2, we again have to do this. Okay. So what we'll try to do is here. So this contains, yeah, let me keep it like this there. This is 135. We have these rows here. So here, now I'm going to check with x2. So x2 like 1, x2 equal to 0. So when x2 equal to 1, what do I have here? So x2 is 1 is this and this one, right? So here we have only class 2. Right now we are able to classify this is class 2. And when x2 equal to 0, we have only single row, like class 1. Yes, right. So we are able to classify it here, like in case you get this condition, right? So where x1 equal to 1 and x2 equal to 1, that is surely class 2. So when x1 equal to 1 and x2 equal to 0, that is surely class 1, something like this. So actually here we don't need class 3 again. So because we are able to identify that particular class. So similarly for the second case, like where you have second and third rows, right? So 0, 1, 0, class 1, 0, 0, 0, class 2. So these are the second and fourth rows. Like now I'm going to use this. So here, let us say now x1 is done, x2, x3. So here if you see, what you can find here is when x2 is 1. Similarly, now we'll be doing it with x2, right? So let me do with x2, x2 equal to 1, x2 equal to 0. So when x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 1, what to find? Like class 1, only class 1, right? So we are able to classify between class 1. And when x2 equal to 0, this is class 2. So finally, what we are able to achieve here is, so with the data here, okay, let me have it. Okay, so with this data here, so in case if you get a data for a new point, let us say your new point is x1 equal to uh, 10101. Okay, so this is your new point, let us say. So for this new point, you can check with this. So x1 is 1, so it comes here. So x1 equal to 1 comes here, and then x2 is 0, which will come here. So I can say that it is class 1 for a new data point, right? So we are actually forming kind of rules, set of rules here. It's a kind of set of rules, right? So what we did is like we tried to uh, able to classify like different combinations here and get like final class output, right? So this is what decision tree is. So it actually takes like each feature like as a kind of node and see like different variations in it. Maybe if it is instead of like 1 zeros, instead if it is numerical, what it try to do is it is greater than 10 on one side, less than 10 on the other side, something like that. So with that, it will be able to classify between various classes, right? So this is what decision tree will do. But actually, in this case, because our data is like less and it was able to classify between these points, right? But if it is very huge data and like you don't find so easy combinations here, like here the combinations I gave were pretty easy, so it is very easy to find. But and one more thing is like initially we have like x1, x2, x3, right? So here, how did you take like x1 as a first node and start it? Like maybe you can take x2 as a first node and start it, and maybe x3 as a first node and start it. All these possibilities are there, right? So why I took like x1 only, x1 here is like I just like want to give you an example, so I have taken that. But in reality, by taking x1, x2, and x3, the tree will vary completely, right? So, yeah, like what parent node you take, like depending on that, your entire scenario will change. So for this reason, what we'll try to do is we'll try to have like we should find a set of criteria for selecting the node, right? So maybe here as well, like maybe once after x1, now let's we have taken x2 here. So maybe x2 will give better results. We don't know, right? So that should be dependent on the data. So in this data, it was very clear that like x2 works, like but when it comes to uh, like in reality, like where you have hundreds of variables, you should always have some selection criteria to select like what node we should use. Okay, so for that reason, what we do is, so there is a concept called information gain. So what this information gain will do is, so like in case if we select x1, if we select x1, like how much, how better are we able to classify? So we'll get some score here. Similarly, if you select x2, how much better score will you classify? Similarly for x3, and take the maximum. Take the maximum. Take the variable giving maximum information gain. So let me tell you with an example, explain with an example here as well. So let's have some x2, x3, and class. Like I'm taking one value from there. So I'm just taking a simple one here. So just two things here: class one, class two. Okay. So if you take x3 here, okay. So x3 is my node. So and you write like x3 equal to 1, x3 equal to 0. So here x3 equal to 1, what do we have? Nothing, right? So we don't have any class pointer here. Class 1, class 2, both were here. So it actually increased, and then again, what we'll do, we'll again use like x2 equal to 1, x2 equal to 0, and then now we'll classify, right? Class 1 equal to 1 and class 2. So, but what did it help anything here? No, right? X3 is equal to 0 always. So it did not help in classifying like between class 1 and class 2 here. So actually X3 did not give any kind of information gain here. So information is gained. We are able to get like if it is X2, it is just like X2 equal to 1, X2 equal to 0. So where you have class 1, class 2. So here, like we actually have some very less tree here, and actually it was able to classify it better, right? But when you take this case, what happened here is, so maybe like initially because of this data, what happened here is like even if you have X3 here, it did not help in classifying between X3 here, okay, and similar this here there is nothing, null, right? So actually this X3 did not help much in classifying between X2 and X3. So that's why we preferred X2 and like we classified with X2 here. Okay. So then how like there should be some kind of metric or a formula to calculate it, right? So that formula is something like this. So
Hello.
Hello, Raju.
so Okay, so what like entropy is this? Like entropy is a randomness or uncertainty in your data. Like entropy is a kind of measure which will uh, give you the randomness or uncertainty in your data, and from that we can know like how much information can be expected out of it. Okay, so using this entropy, in case if you calculate the entropy what you have at certain state, and in case if you pick some variable, right, like what will be the entropy at that position. So if you do take an difference between those two, so it's like how much is your entropy change by taking that particular decision, right? So with that what we'll be knowing is like okay, so with that, what we'll know is we'll actually get to know how much is the information gain within us, right? So in case if you take that decision, if your entropy has increased, okay, so from that, like what we'll be knowing, so this is that particular amount of information has been gained, right? So that is what is information gain here. So don't worry about the formula, like while calculating it, it will be easy. So I have written here the same data what we have taken earlier. So let's try to calculate information gain for each possible variable here and see like what parent node should be taken. So this is our challenge, right? Like so earlier, like for explanation, I have taken x1 and then used it as a parent node. But here we should actually calculate based on the information gain here, right? So initially, let's take x1 and see like how much is the information gain. Similarly, we'll do the same exercise for x2 and x3 and see like what actually. Let me draw parallelly. Let's see like what will be the information gain if you take x2. Similarly for x3. Okay, so let's see about this. Okay, so what we should be doing is, so similarly, like x1 equal to 1, x1 equal to 0. So when x1 equal to 1, what do we have here? So when x1 equal to 1 is this row, and this row. So what do we have here is like one class 1 and two class 2s, right? So let me write it here. One class 1, class 2, class 2. Okay, so this is what we have. Similarly, if you go to the other side, like when x1 is 0, we have one class 1, one class 2. Okay, similarly, let's try to write the same, list the classes for the other decisions as well. x2 equal to 1, x2 equal to 0. Similarly, for x3 equal to 1, x3 equal to 0. So what we have for x2 is like x2 is what? Okay, let me write similar for like arrows for x2 and identify. So x2, x1, 0 is this, 0 is this. So for 0, there were two, which was one class 1, one class 2. And for x2 equal to 1, there is 1, 2. So it is again classified as 1, 2. Okay, so this looks similar. Both of them look similar here. So let's see same scenario with class 3. So sorry, x3. So where you have, what do you have? So this, so when it is 0, 2 class 1 and class 2. Okay. So when it is x3 is 1, this is only thing, right? So where you have class 2 and 1 class 2, and when it is this one, you have two ones and two twos. Okay. So this is what we want, right? So we have got the information here. So what information we have is, so in case if it is x1, we have used parent node as x1. So we'll be categorizing three samples this side and two samples the other side. Similarly for x2, we categorize like three samples one side and two other side. But here, when it is x3, we are able to classify that like when x3 is 1, surely you know that it is class 2, right? But when it is x3 is 0, then again you have to there are like two class 1s and two class 2s, right? So again you actually have to guess. So this is what we have as a scenario. So let's calculate the information gain and with these things, like it will also calculate with the entropy as well. So what is the IF for X1 is, like what we should do is, so initially there won't be any entropy, so like it is 1. So minus, so what we have is, like when it is this, okay. So here, how many will be in class 1, how many will be in class 2? So in case if you want to, so there are three samples here. Out of these three samples, we have what is the probability that your like class is 1. So it is 1 by 3, right? For having class 1 is 1 by 3 and having class 2 is 2 by 3. So do you know this probability concepts here? So what we try to do is, like in how many chances out of here we get 1, what is the probability that, there are, like let's say three balls, okay, one ball is like class 1 and two balls are class 2. So if blindly pick one of them, so randomly pick one of them, so what ball do you have, okay. So in case if you pick it like three times, okay, so not three times, like if you take many hundreds of times, look, so let's say like you picked up 300 times. Out of 300 times, there are more chances you get like 100 times as class 1 and 200 times you may pick like class 2, because like there are more in number, right? You will pick it like more. So that is a probability case here. So in that, what we do is, like there are chances of picking it up with 1 by 3 probability, and similarly here we have like 2 by 3 probability, right? So what we do is 1 by 3 log 1 by 3 is an entropy here for this, and similarly minus 2 by 3 log 2 by 3 is an entropy for this. Okay, so this is for class 1, class 2. So what we do is, like we'll be using this, like do you, like for this, like what is the probability here? So we have like 3, right? So out of 3, if you want to pick one, okay, now it's not done yet. So so what we did is, like actually check for just a moment. I think like we did not complete it like it. So this is for, let's do it for class 1 and we have to do it for class 1 and class 0. Okay. So just a moment. So let's only see class 1 first. So for class 1, if it is x1, we actually have found out that it is 1 by 3 probability, right? So similarly, how about in the other case, if it is x1, if you have to get like class 1 probability, here it is 1 by 2, right? Like because there are two, out of them, picking one is like half probability is 1 by 2, and picking the other half is also 1 by 2, right? So you have log 1 by 2. This is for IF class 1. Similarly, you calculate it for IF class 2. What you have is, so this zero minus won't come here. We are calculating only for class 1. Similarly, now we are calculating for, let's call it entropy, not like information gain at the first level. So we can combine it at the end, but as of now, let's call it entropy for E1, entropy for class 2. So here, what we'll calculate is, so minus when it is class 1. Okay. So when it x1 is 1, so for class 2, probability is 2 by 3 log 2 by 3. Similarly, for a second case, like when it comes here, so now this thing, right? So when it is this thing, the probability is half log 1 by 2. Okay, so this is probability for different probability entropies here. So these entropies will use it for information gain will be like 1 minus. So previously, like when we don't have anything, let's have like information gain as like 1, and then what we have is like minus E1 minus E2. So 1 minus of, like you calculate this value and have it here, a minus, like you calculate this value, have it here, and you will get some answer here. Okay. So let's park it here. We'll calculate those values as well. But as of now, let's try do the second case. So in the second case, when we use x2 as a parent node, when we use x2 as a parent node, let's calculate entropy here. So uh, okay, one of you can tell like how it can be. So what is the entropy of class 1 here? Okay, it means like here in this sample, we have to pick for picking class 1, what is the probability? So there is one class 1 sample, two class 2 samples, right? Picking class 1 will need
2 by 3, right?
so 2 by 3 is for 2, like for there is only one class, right? So we have one sample, two these samples. Okay, out of this, what will be a probability of picking one? Is like 1 by 3. So
1
how
by
many
3,
number
yeah.
of ones? Yeah, how many number of ones, and by total number of samples there. Similarly, if you want to pick two, what will be the probability? How many twos are there? One, two. There are two twos, and then
Yeah,
divided
2
by
by
total 2 by 3. So we use the same thing here. So this will be 1 by 3. This will be 2 by 3. Similarly, here, if it here there is only one samples like this. So in these samples, picking up like one will be 1 by 2 probability, picking up 2 will be 1 by 2 probability, right? So because there is only one, and 1 divided by total number of elements is 2. So using that, we are actually like classifying it as 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So now calculate the entropy for only one, which will be minus 1 by 3 log 1 by 3. Similarly, minus 1 by 2 log 1 by 2. So using that, you calculate, get some value. Similarly, we use for the same for class 2 as well, and do the same here. 2 by 3 and 1 by 2. Minus 2 by 3 log 2 by 3 minus 1 by 2 log 1 by 2. Okay, so and finally again you get a value. So what you do is if gain will be for here, let's say x1, if gain for x2 is e minus e2, it will be 1 minus, you calculate this part and you calculate this part and use it here. Okay, so this will be for x2. So actually in this case, kind of a coincidence, both values are same, so we got same value here. So let's see about the next case. So here what will be there? Okay, so look at it closely here. So what will be the probability of picking one here? What will be the probability of picking one here, and similarly two? So what will be there is only one single sample here, so which was 2. So what is the probability of picking one? Right, so there is no chance to pick one here, as you said. So picking up probability is 0. Similarly, how about this case here? Probability of picking one, 2 is 1, right? Because there is only one divided by like 1, it is 1. So here it is like 0 by like number of elements is 1, it is 0. So taking that case, so let's jump here and write like what are the values we got. So for picking up 1, it is 0. For picking up 2, it is 1. Similarly, in this case, there are 2 ones and 2 twos. For this case, what it will be like for picking up 1, it is like 2 by 4, which is 1 by 2. Similarly, picking up 2, again like 2 by 4, it is 1 by 2, right? So what you have here is 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So, okay, now we are all ready, set to calculate E1, right? So what will be the E1 here? So, so when it is 0, so okay, so if you take E1 here now, let's observe it carefully. E1 here, so what it has is like minus, it's like first point is like 0, right? So you have 0, you don't have to calculate for that part. And next minus, so for second thing, it is half log 1 by 2, right? So, and similarly, you calculate for E2. And what do you have is like 1 here. So okay, minus 1 log 1. And similarly, so actually here it's a quite 0 into a log of log 0 is infinite here, right? Log 0 is undefined. So let's see like what we'll have. But if it is 0 into like let's take it as 0. We don't compute till that point. So here again log 1 is 0. So here it is half log 1 by 2. So this part is again 0 because log 1 is 0. So finally information gain what you get is 1 minus half log 1 by 2 minus half log 1 by 2. 1 minus log 1 by 2. It is 1 minus, it will be 1 by 2 is like plus, right? So log 2 base 2, it is 1. So this will be 2 information gain here. So similarly, we have to calculate information gain at these levels. So let me use calculator and then do this calculation. We can do it directly, but I don't remember the log 3 to the base 2 value. Okay, let me use a calculator. So okay, so just a moment, just to avoid all this time. So after calculating these values, so these are the information gains which we got. Like here it is 0.366, it's a 0.366, and here it is 2. So ideally to see this thing, so what we have is like by taking x3, we actually have better information gain, right? So actually what we should do is, as per our algorithm, we should be taking if as like, sorry, which has maximum gain, right? So we should be taking x3 as a first parent node. So in the example which I have taken before, I have taken x1 and I have given, right? But like what we found is after calculating the information gain, we found that x3 has better information gain. So we should start with x3. So okay, now let's start with x3 here, where we have now like this one, when it is 1, it is just class 2. So from the data, so this is done, right? Like we don't have to do any more from there. So but in the other case, here we have two class 1s and two class 2s. Okay, let's see like what we can use here. So which is two class 1s and class 2s are here. So these two. So let me write those values here again. So 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 0. Okay, I'm not writing the third row because it belongs to the other class. So 0 0 0. Okay, so these are like class 1, these are like class 2. So x1, x2, x3. Now actually x1 equal to 1, this case is done. So I'm talking about only this part, right? So we are interested in this part now. We can actually take again x3, but as of now for simplicity, let's, because like we have all zeros there. So okay, let's have it like let's do a calculation. So what we do here is again now we have to take one more node, right? So that deciding factor again, it can be x1, x2, x3. Okay, so again we have to take information, calculate information again based on this. So we'll do it quickly now. Anyway, it wouldn't take much time because it's smaller number comparatively. So when we take x1 is 1, so we have to both cases. Sorry, we have to take, so where there is one class and one class here. And similarly, when we take x1 as 0, we have, okay. So how about x2? It's like one class, two, okay, 0 0. Similarly again, so 1 2 1 2. But if you take x3, what we have is if you take x3, you doesn't have like both sides. Like one side you have like two, 1 2 1 2 in one side, and other side there is nothing. Okay, it's none. So this is what we had. So similarly, how we did earlier, right? So similarly, we again have to calculate an information gain based on this. and again like find out which is the node we should use here. So similarly, and we get again decided into some classes, again we should do the same. And finally we have to get the end node, like what we call it as a leaf node. So till we get this leaf nodes, means like where we don't have to classify anymore. So we should get till that point. So till then we should be following this algorithm and using it. So and finally able to build a tree here. So okay, so finally we will be getting a tree like this here. So it will be slightly different, but still it's the same. So this is about decision tree classifier. But seeing this decision tree classifier, right? So here, are we not observing our data like the tree, like because like we'll construct this tree based on the training data, and for the new data we just use it like this. Okay. So similar to just before that, similar to information gain, there is also a concept called Gini index. So what this Gini index will actually give is, it is similar to information gain. It will also give you how much is the probability if you take like class or like x1, what is the probability, and x2, what is the probability, and x3, what is a kind of an index, like what is a kind of information gain, what you got at that level. Okay, so that is also given by Gini index. Okay, so it will give similarly, just like how we have calculated entropy and information gain, right? Like similarly, this is also one kind of measure which will give you how much impurity is there within your data, and like how randomness is there, and you unable to classify, like how it will abstract you from classifying easily. So there will be some kind of index based on that. So maybe we will discuss that topic in the next session or another session. So, but other than that, like this is how like decision tree classifier works. Okay, but there are some challenges regarding this decision tree classifier, because we are actually looking at a training. Okay, so disadvantages of decision tree. So what we have is, so we are looking at training data and trying to create a graph based on that, right? So that like your entire training data comes with. Okay, so but this will have a chance for overfitting. So it may perform very good at training data, but for new data, not accurate for new data. So this can happen, right? So there is very high chance that your decision tree classifier will do overfitting. So you should be very careful while choosing the parameters. There are some things like there is something like perning, what they call is perning. So what pern actually means is, so for this, like you use this perning to reduce the overfitting. So what it will do is it will try to remove few nodes to optimize validation accuracy. So, so what it will try to do is like actually we'll always try to see like if training error is getting reduced, right? So and randomly what we also do is we'll remove few nodes from there. Okay, so by removing few nodes, will it is it affecting validation accuracy? Is it improving the validation accuracy? Means like we try not to overfit, right? So in case if it in case of regression concepts, what we do is like we'll actually do a kind of in regression, what we do is like a kind of a regularization. We minimize like coefficients of some variable. We restrict some like features which are not so useful to zero, right? So such kind of scenarios, like Ferning is also a kind of regularization. What it will do is it will remove few like nodes and see if your accuracy is still good. Okay, if the accuracy is still good, it will start doing this process, like still like you find a deterioration in performance, or else like it will stop at that point. So this is what will happen with Pernin. And but most likely like the decision tree classifier is very basic classifier. We won't be using it in final case, but in reality, how we actually use it, this will also give you how much is your feature importance of your feature. So in scikit-learn, the implementation of decision tree actually also gives you there is something like this. So let me talk about that. Okay, let me show you this decision tree implementation. So decision trees for classification. So this is what we are trying, right? So to implement decision tree, it is nothing like this. So just that we have to use like scikit-learn dot import tree, and then tree dot decision tree classifier will actually import you the model. And finally, we have to do like dot fit x comma y, which are like features here and target variable here, and it will try to fit the tree like this. So we can actually in this, like there is a function called plot tree where you can actually visualize like what we try to do here, right? So that we can actually visualize it here. So in this you can see, okay, so you can see this, like see like here like x is less than, now they have taken a continuous variable instead of like categorical variable, like what we have taken. So here, if it is less than this point, so what will be the values? If it is greater than, what will be the values? And again, like nodes here, nodes. So this is how it has went. Okay. So, but a thing is like I want to show you something like, so this also has some this decision tree classifier. Let me jump to that decision tree classifier code. sklearn dot tree dot decision tree classifier. So let me go there and see what options do we have. So okay, so these are all while input, like we can give some options there. Other than that, there is something called feature importance. This is one very useful feature what we have. So what it does is like actually it will give you feature importance for each of your feature. Means like how important is your x1 in classifying, how important your x2 in classifying, like that for each of the features it will give you importance. So what we can do is using this, in case if your like problem statement has like hundreds of variables, so and your data like model is overfitting for your data. So what you can do is you have to eliminate few features, right? So for elimination of few features, what you can do is you can use this feature importance as a measure, and then what you do is you will remove the features which are having less importance. Okay, so maybe does it have any example? No, it doesn't have. They didn't give any example, but maybe while implementing, we'll look at this. So where there are feature importance is less, you can remove those variables and maybe use it for another model as well. Like it need not be like decision tree classifier. So initially, maybe you found like x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. Okay, so these are the variables what you have, and then what you did is like by observing the feature importance, what you found out is like x2 and x3 are not useful. Okay, then what you do is like you remove those two variables, just with the other x1, x4, and x5 you can train a different model. It need not be a class decision tree classifier. You can use it for logistic regression as well, and then train a classification model. Okay, so these things, this is how like decision tree classifier can help in like feature elimination. Okay, so this is one more thing used for feature elimination. Yeah, using feature importance feature. So this is not actually like meant for like decision tree, but but we can take advantage of this kind of situation and then use it for our purpose. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it about decision tree here.